everybody. We're going live with our coffee talk today. Hi. Good morning.
Let's see. Get all set up. It's weird in here.
Yeah, I know. At first when I was doing these, I was like kind of worrying about lighting and all that, and then now I'm like, who cares? We're just chatting.
Let me change that real quick.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to everybody this morning. Hope you have your coffee wherever you are. In the world, we have one listener following us. I think it's Ireland. She said she's here from 4 o'clock there. So maybe a glass of wine you're having, but it all counts here.
I love it.
Okay, so it's morning time for you as well. Hey, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your story? We've been kind of
so I got Bell's palsy in 2016. I was actually sitting outside drinking coffee. It dribbled down my face, and I thought the lid on my coffee cup was not right. And so I fixed it, and it kept dribbling, and my eye got irritated, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, what is going on? And I couldn't blink. And then my face just started doing the droop
thing. Yeah.
And I remember talking to my mom. She was in Australia at the time, and she was like, your face is weird. It was very sensitive.
Yeah.
And I called the doctor. I was like, I think I have Bell's palsy. And she said, oh, you probably had a stroke, but come in.
Oh, you probably had a stroke.
And I went in. She goes, nope, that's Bell's palsy. 1 second. The camera's not. See if that helps at all.
Oh, don't worry, you're fine.
So yeah, it just kind of hit all of a sudden. Woke up, everything. I was having earaches and my mouth hurt, and I get irritated eyes anyway, and I had a cold sore forming, everything on the right side of my face. And then I woke up, and it was just bam, right there. So went on prednisone and an antiviral medicine, and it was not fun. That prednisone it makes you very ravenous, and but everything tastes like cardboard.
For me, everything tastes like metal. Like, it was so
Really?
weird, but I still wanted to be eating all the time, even though it's horrible.
I'm so hungry, and I just it tastes like cardboard. I had those special flavored potato chips, and I was eating it. I told my sister, you need to try it because it tastes kind of weird. She goes, it's really good. I'm like, you like boring food? It is. It tastes like cardboard. It's just bland and horrible. But yeah, it was. Everyone asked, "Are you're recovered because your face is not still droopy or anything?" But I have the ear problems, and I do still have the smile.
Yeah, mine too is not symmetrical, and I have synkinesis in my eye, and my mouth is. Mine was 2015, so we're about the same.
About the same time, yeah.
Same time.
Did you still have like hearing issues? Because for me, it's so sensitive, and
like if
little things, like my niece used to she would play with marbles on the floor, on a hardwood floor, and I would be in my bedroom down the hall away from her, and I could hear it rolling, and it was just like rattling and jangling and horrible.
Yeah, no, I didn't really have anything with my ears inside, so that was lucky for me.
Yeah,
you just use I still have trouble with my eye, but
I did like the goopy eye drop stuff, and then the eye band-aids.
Yeah,
that was the only way I could do it.
Yeah,
it was so painful, so horrible. And the pain on your face and neck.
I get pain in here. This is my Bell's palsy side. I get pain in here, if I'm stressed, which is so odd to me. Like, I was thinking yesterday that you would be a good person to chat with about this, because don't we find it odd that everybody's like, oh, my face feels really tense and when I'm stressed? Well, my arm doesn't. Yes. My quad muscle doesn't feel. So for me, metaphysically, I really knew that I wasn't being heard, and my voice was essentially paralyzed. So it's very interesting to me. Like, I try to pay attention what, not only if I'm stressed, but like what I'm stressed about.
Yeah.
Face starts to have pain or sensitivity or feel really tense, because that just kind of dawned on me that we're always like that. Oh, like we cold, like our face gets tense. Okay, well that's normal because it's a muscle.
Yeah.
But like, stressed, why? Like my toe,
So
you know what I mean?
What I found, you know, when you first get it and you do the exercises, and like stick your tongue out and whatever you can do, my face, it just gets that tightness and it starts pulling.
Yeah, me too.
And it's really painful, and I hate it. So one of the things I started using is this oil.
Okay.
It's a rose oil. It's a very nice smell, and I can just gently rub it on my face and up through my ear, just gently, because your face is sensitive, and especially if you are full into the Bell's palsy, you don't want to like aggressively massage it because it doesn't feel good.
And that's what we've been learning from Pierre from Butho Physio in the other I'm doing. Like, you've been on a couple, I think.
Yeah.
Is aggressive too soon, which 100% is what I did, because I'm like, oh, let's go fix it. It causes synkinesis, so of course we don't want to do that. But then you also get, wake up I still wake up in the morning and my face is like, you're like, okay, go back.
The other thing I started using is one of these rollers.
Mm-hmm.
But mine, it's a vibrating one.
Okay.
And so I do it around my ear, especially when the sound gets like really horrible.
Okay.
And I'll roll my face, and then a lot of it's like in your mind too. You have to tell yourself, how much is this stress worth?
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to go through Bell's palsy again? Do I need to make it worse? And then I think, is there something I can do? Yes. Then I'm going to do it. No, let it go. And it's really hard. I'm a recovering control freak.
And you know what? Everybody that I've talked to that has Bell's palsy that I talked to on the side, say the same thing.
It's funny because it's something that there's no real background. They don't have a lot of research on it. And one of the things that was supportive, or for me, when I was going through it, was to find a support group. And so I found on Facebook, there was a Bell's palsy support group, and people ask questions. And the one thing I've learned is people are asking questions to others that have gone through it. They can Google and they know that, but they want to talk to people that actually went through it because they want that perspective. Mm-hmm. And so that is, that's why I want to be here, to be able to help with, if anyone has questions. I mean, I 5 years later, 6 years later, have the ear issue. Mm-hmm. But, like I smile and I could see it's crooked and my eyes are not the same size. And then it's like, you know what, I can worry about that, or I can, find something more worthwhile. Yeah.
And like, it's not like, I talked about that last week, I think, where we can spend as much time as we want focusing on, why did this happen to me? Why? Like, why did it happen to me and not the other person? And, I like to kind of ask questions and do research with the people out of curiosity, so that, like you're saying, I can be like, okay, I was trying to control too much of my life, or in my case, had completely lost my voice. I was not speaking up for myself in relationships, anything like that. So now, like, to me, that's my life kind of path, and what I need to learn in lessons is to speak up for myself when I get in times where I feel like I'm not doing that. My face starts to get tense and it starts to get pain. And if I really tune in, that's what's going on.
Yeah. And that's like, I'll use the roller, gently massage. And I'm like, what is so stressful right now? What, like, in reality, what really matters? Why is this such a big deal? And 10 out of 10 times, it's nothing I can control. And if I can do something. And I've had anxiety for most of my life, and I want to, that's where the control factor comes in, is having anxiety. You want something you can control. Mm-hmm. And my body was like, you're going to get migraines. You're going to have ulcers. You're going to have this stomach problem and that stomach problem. And okay, you're working around that. We're going to give you like IBS. So now you got to deal with that. Like, listen to your body. It's giving you signs for a reason. And I just kept finding ways around it. And then finally it just said, okay, well, here's this on your face, deal with it. And it was like, what? I don't know how to deal with it. I can't. You're so tired.
They have to.
Time. And I was going like 3 hours of sleep every night. I drank coffee to wake up. I drank water to stay going during the day. And then I would have many cocktails at night to fall asleep. And it was just really hard and frustrating. And it was a vicious cycle. And then finally it was like, just slow down. And I didn't know how. So it threw Bell's palsy at my face. And I was in bed a lot. And I couldn't take care of my 3-year-old niece. And then, kids are cute. She wanted me to take her to the library so I could scare people with my creepy face. Oh. That's what she said. And I was like, do you laugh at that or do you cry? Because that's not very nice.
Both, right? My face is paralyzed, so I'm laughing inside, and I have teary alligator tears. So I'm kind
of... you got both.
I know.
But yeah, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I literally, same thing, anxiety, IBS, everything along your life. And it is so similar to me as I talk to people who have gone through it more and more now with so many of the similar things. Yeah. And that's not a fluke. That's like us coming together, joining, to learn from each other what the lesson is that we need to learn from you.
So on the Facebook group, I found it interesting because they said this only affects men, but it hits pregnant women. And it was like, well, you can't say one when it's hitting both. And then they were doing polls because they were curious. Is it only on the left side or only on the right side? Mm-hmm. I was like, well, you have that nerve on both sides, and it's going to be different for each person. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like more people had it on the left side than the right, which I was like, well, I had it on the right.
But again, like that's the thing. And so very interesting too, that I've done a lot of reading about is why did it happen to you on your right side and me on my left side? Right. So, to me, like Louise Hay, like Google Louise Hay right away. And for me, it was like sticking up for myself. I wasn't using my masculine side, whereas the feminine side wasn't coming out. Well, the masculine versus feminine side is also very interesting too, because I can be sitting beside Jessica Miller and we're exactly the same situation. Her immune system's repressed, mine's repressed, whatever. And I get palsy and she gets something else interesting. Or you and me sitting beside each other, you get it on the right side, I get it on the left side. Like just things like that are so interesting to me. And that comes from the lessons that we need to learn personally of what's going on in the universe.
I've found, again, really just need to focus on what I can do for me rather than I got to fix everybody else. I got to help everybody else. And that is, it's helped a lot with this not getting so tight in recent days. But yeah, for me, it still goes back to the ear. And so I'm curious about that. I'll have to look and see what they say about the ear problems.
Right. I'll message you later. I can't remember what her handle is, but I'll message and then I'll put it in the comments when I post this video. Okay. Is a lady who posts about physical causes of emotions or emotional reactions to the body. And the Bell's palsy one's bang on. I have trouble with my elbows. Like I have really bad tendonitis in both my elbows. It's from the computer, but looking at the metaphysical reason why it's happening, and I need to bend and I need to change in my life. I had a lot of changes happen during COVID, like a lot of us did, but had to close the company, my family company, and all these kind of changes and acceptance and all this. Everything I read, I'm like, my God, it's like totally right. And it's fascinating. And to me, that's just, and again, I don't like to dwell on the why, except for the reason of how to move forward. Like, like we're saying, okay, well, we can't fix what we used to be like. All we can do is determine why, and then be able to be more present when we are
and move forward with that information.
And so that, and I mean, and obviously not hard. I mean, not easy. I mean, like patient, not so.
It is hard. And
So
what other things have you used when you were going through it and recovering?
I honestly tried like everything. So I did acupuncture 3 times a week right away. I had a girlfriend who had Bell's palsy. She was one of the lucky ones that recovered, like, one of those jerks
Like
that recovered.
2 days?
When you like, mom's like, well, I read it's like it can be like a week. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do a week. I can do a week. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're like, oh, and then it's like 6 weeks, and you're like, this might stick around.
Yeah.
So I did acupuncture, and for me, I felt that acupuncture really helped. But then again, you can't say, because the Bell's palsy is such a crazy thing where maybe if I hadn't have done it, I would have recovered the same. Who knows? But what was so great for me is it literally forced me to lie there, unable to, like, I mean, I was in bed for 2 weeks.
You're stuck, yeah.
Solid, but like you're literally stuck there. Meditating, there's calm music, you're half napping, so you're really in that present time. Acupuncture really helped me for both those things. Now, like that I'm more kind of out and I'll ask anybody questions. Like my naturopath, for example, he's like, well, have you tried prolotherapy for your face? I said, no, I haven't, because I don't know what that is. So I like look into it, and so I've tried that, acupressure, acupuncture. Nothing has made a huge difference. Nothing that I can say, oh, hey, you have to do this, except cutting stress. Yeah. So like you're saying, that is the number one thing. Any tool that you can use, I don't know, going to the spa, getting a massage, anything that can reduce your stress, anxiety level, and attachment to the fact that we have any control over anything that happens in life.
Right. It was funny because someone told me you're not going to want to be massaged because it hurts so much, and the therapist is not going to know how to help you because they don't know the right pressure and if it's excruciating. I had someone come to the house to give me a massage, but I was on the prednisone, so I was like super irritable anyway.
Yeah.
It was the worst massage in my life.
It was for them too.
Yeah, they were like, you should do this later. But I actually do massage, really? And so I was like, that's why I was so concerned about how to help it and make things happen, and like the neck, because it hurts and you want to comfort it, so you tend to tense up, and you want that muscle to be lengthened, and it helps a little bit more with that.
Did you try fascial therapy? Like because actually that is something I tried most recently. Mm-hmm. Have you?
I've done it before, not on my neck, not for this.
Yeah. He did, like, for my face, did like my entire that side of my back and the whole shoulder and everything. And I just I literally have tried so many things that just popped into my head. So I really thought that helped. And so I have been looking into that a little bit more to share. There's not a lot of people, like fascia therapy. There's a lot of people that do it, but not a lot of people that have it in relation to Bell's palsy, because one doctor that I read, he said that their theory on Bell's palsy is that the nerves not necessarily always damaged, just compressed, and the fascial therapy helps uncompress it. So I was like, oh, that sounds good, because it's stretching, it's not chemicals or anything like that.
It's such a gentle stretch too. It's not,
and it feels good,
aggressive.
So exactly, those are the things that I'm always open to try. Like I tried prolotherapy, which are injections, but they're injections of sugar water. You're not injecting yourself with
And did you refresh my mind? Did you do Botox?
I have done Botox.
Which side did they do on you? I'm curious on this.
The Bell's palsy side. Oh, did you have the non-Bell's palsy side?
I haven't done it, but they told me to do the non-Bell's palsy side, because then it will help it balance, because then it makes it a little tighter on that side, and then it balances. And I was like, because they said that, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You want to get the side that's affected. And they said, no, if you want it to balance again, you want to go with the opposite side. I thought, that's interesting, because I've heard both.
See, that does make sense. See, I got it for synkinesis though, because my eye has synkinesis in here, and it gets very, very tight because I talk a lot. So my eye is active when I'm talking. So they put it in here. But then I trying to do physical therapy a couple of years ago for it, because I'm very lucky. There's a lady I want to get her on. There's a lady in North Van, so she's probably about 40 minutes away from me. She specializes in facial paralysis. So I was seeing her. But I mean, the physical therapy was so frustrating. Like, I would leave in tears. Like, I was just so hard because the motions are so little and I felt like I was screwing it up and blah, blah, blah. So I took a break from it. But I couldn't have both. Like, you have to not get Botox, obviously, if you're doing the physical therapy. So I haven't done it since then.
Okay.
But I liked it because of my eye. Like, my eye gets very tired.
Yeah. I
And
saw
Botox,
it in that Facebook group. Someone was showing the picture. They had the magnet put in their eyelid to help it weight it down, or weights, I guess.
Yeah.
To weigh it down. It looks weird. I don't know that I could do that.
No.
My eyes are sensitive anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, like, but they can still blink, right? Like,
Mhm.
open.
It's so like when your Bell's palsy eye is like stuck open and doesn't close, which is why it'll dry out.
Yeah.
They put a weight in their eyelid, so when they are making that effort to blink, it actually goes down.
Yeah, because mine doesn't go down all the way as much anymore. Like, if my eye gets dry, I have to put drops in my eyes all the time. But I think you said, like, I had sensitive eyes anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if, like, installing something in my face that is already damaged.
It seems very counterintuitive.
Yeah, like, I just, I'm just gonna, let's just stick away, like, stay from my, like, that's why, like, I actually got some fillers put in this is my Bell's palsy eye, and it's sunken in a little bit from the Bell's palsy. So even when I have makeup on and stuff, it looks bruised. So the lady that I was going to for the Botox, she's like, oh, well, maybe try fillers. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, I tried a couple times and yeah, it worked and it was good. It's expensive. B, I'm like, why are you putting needles into your face when you don't need to? Like, stop. Yeah. Like that. So like, because like, okay, wait, now the needles hit a nerve and now you're paralyzed again. Cool. Good job, Barb.
I was not sure on the Botox, and then I thought, oh yeah, you have to get it on the side that's effective. And I wanted to do acupuncture, but I couldn't find anyone good in my area in Utah. And so I was like, I'll skip that. It's fine. I'll find something else. And I looked up homeopathic remedies. And it was like, eat a clove of garlic and walk backwards 100 steps. And I was like,
much of that stuff.
I feel like that's silly.
Yeah.
Garlic, maybe, yes. But yeah, the rest of it was like, eh.
Totally. But yeah, I mean, I laugh and to each their own, but 100%, like, if there's some stuff you can stomach, why not? Right? Yeah. Like, and that's what I
always feel bad when other people get these issues. And I remember, I think it was like a year, maybe 2 years after I had it, Angelina Jolie got it, and they said she did Botox, or not Botox, acupuncture. That was all she did, and it went away like within a few weeks.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I like that everybody knows has this. So now people will be like, oh, well, she had it, so tell me more about it. So that way I can learn from you what she went through, because they care more about her than you. Yeah. And it's nice to bring that attention to it, because hopefully that will bring in more awareness and people want to do more research on it and be more helpful going forward.
And even us coming together, like the Facebook group that we're on, they're on Facebook. 24,000 people on there. I think that even though, like, yourself and I, that's where I want to start talking to people who are in our situation, is because, yes, okay, it's super scary as soon as it happens. So, of course, for people who are new, we, as, I guess we could call ourselves seasoned Bell's palsiers.
Right.
Yes. Is, yes, get the meds right away. Like, do not stall, do not do anything. Okay, great. Get that done. Now do this. That's great. Well, 5 or 6 years later, I told my partner Trev, like, he's so supportive, and he's like, I'm like, it's just so fun for me to be able to have this community and joke around about stuff that people, like, in the Facebook groups, how people like joke around about, like, oh, I am laughing, that's my Bell's palsy smile, can't you see it? Like, so funny, and that part's really cool. And I want has to be that.
If you have it or you've been through it and you make the jokes, it's a lot funnier than someone who's like poking fun at your face for having it, right? Because they don't know.
Unless they're your old niece, that is totally uncalled for.
Yeah.
Like, you take your face that's all nice and you go over there.
Yeah. I didn't know that I had a bunch of like my grandfather had it, and he goes, "Oh, I only had it for like a few weeks. I don't remember it very well." And I was like, "What?" It was so traumatic for me. It was so awful. My cousin had it, and he said he'd like to dress up as Two-Face from Batman.
Oh.
And then he goes, "But I couldn't tell you which side of the face it was."
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
No.
I do not remember.
No, I think that, I mean, I guess maybe rewinding a little bit to what we were saying before about stress, or maybe it's just the level of how people deal with stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's so traumatic for me. Like, you know.
It knocks you on your ass, and you are, like you said, you're in bed for a couple weeks. You don't want to move. It hurts to move. The food, I didn't want to eat anything because it tasted like cardboard, but I would still eat everything I could find.
Yeah, so weird. That was so odd to me.
I was very fortunate. I had a very dear friend. He said, because I stopped posting pictures because I don't want people to see my face, because I was trying to make peace with it, and I was not coming easily.
Of course.
And he said, "Well, what's your address? And you seem like you're hungry." So he had ordered food, had it delivered to me. And it was like a pizza, a salad, I think a calzone, maybe some bread rolls and cinnamon rolls. And this guy shows up and he hands it to me. And he's like, "Oh, this is from your friend." And I was like, "Okay." And I sat down. I ate all of it.
I'm so hungry.
I gained 25 pounds from when I had Bell's palsy.
Wow.
I was trying to get rid of it quick because I was going to Australia for a month. And I was like, "You don't meet people with this face. It's not helpful." And then I got there and everyone's like, "You can't even tell." And I'm like, "You're full of lies." You can't tell. It was still not as drastic, but it and I didn't smile normal. And it finally, like, probably full 6 to 8 months after, it went back to like what it is now. But it, like, again, it's still that the ear, the eyes always irritated.
Yeah, me too. I think our recovery is fairly similar. Like I have, not totally symmetrical. People who, my partner, Trev, he, we've been together now 3-4 years-ish. And he's like, "I don't notice." I'm like, "Yeah, because you didn't know me before. People who knew me before can tell." But again, who cares? Like, you can't, change it.
That's nice. It's nice when people are just unconditionally loving and supportive. And I love that you create this space for people to feel like they can connect in that way. I had some horrible things said to me by people I thought were kind and loving, and they were not.
Like about your face?
Mm-hmm. I had been dating a guy, and we were like in the friend zone, I guess. And I didn't want to go and see him for golf or lunch or whatever it may have been. And I said, "My face hurts. It's awkward. I don't want to leave my house." And he goes, "Well, what does it look like?" So I sent him a picture, and he suggested ending my life journey instead of walking around with that face. And I thought, "You are a despicable person, and I only want good, positive people around me." And, get rid of that. And then everything has been wonderful since then. People are very, not in my mind, I'm thinking, no one's going to want to be my friend. No one wants to be around me. My face is weird and this and that. And it was absolutely not the case. And that did a lot to help I know you wanted to talk about the positive mental attitude that comes with it.
Great.
And I think having that traumatic, horrible thing said to me, and a few other things not as bad, and seeing how like my friends sending me food, or people bringing me flowers, people that helped me take care of my niece so I didn't have to show my creepy face.
That's awesome.
And it it was like people stepped in to help. And that's, you know, like for me, it was really wonderful. And that's why, like, I still, you know, 5, almost 6 years later, still want to talk about it and be as helpful and a support to anyone that may need it. And so.
Yeah, me too. And I think, like, thank you so much for joining me. I think we'll do it again. I think that, you know, we get comments so much, and that's why I'm loving this idea of like Saturday morning coffee or whatever. It doesn't need to be any doctor or anything. I think that these are the stories that people can be like, okay, well, hey, they made it 5 or 6 years.
And, you know, I think especially the Bell's Palsy group on Facebook, with people asking the questions, it's not a Google question. It is, I want to know from people having gone through it, is this a normal side effect? Is this, you know, because like, sure, you can Google and Google will say, yeah, that's normal, but
everything's well, and
not
right.
You
but
know?
Also for me, like, hey, you know, exactly what you're saying. Like, hey, I just had a guy tell me this about my face. Did anybody else have that situation too? And then being like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And that's the part, like, for us from a support point of view, like we were saying, me on there, we're not doctors. I don't have a lot of advice for things. People constantly asking me questions and stuff. I don't know. I can tell you what I've done. I can tell you how I feel. And
exactly. And, you know, I'm hoping that, that with, you know, like celebrities getting this issue, that brings that awareness to it, that people want to do more research and learn about it. Because they're like, is it stress? Is it hereditary? Is it
thyroid, or all these things?
A thyroid issue? Yeah, it's like, is it one of these things? Is it all of these things? Is it none of those things? Like, but every person is so different in what they get and how it affects them and how they can work through it. But I think just, you know, being kind to each other and, you know, offer suggestions. Like I said, I used a rose oil on my face and did my massages like that. I got a face roller for the ear, the vibrating one, because that really helps. And I don't know what that is about the ear that helps. The other thing, have you heard of this? The warm olive oil in your ear?
No,
like
but
when it first hits and you get that, like, you feel like you're being knocked out.
Yeah.
Pain. Warm olive oil in your ear.
Like, just drip it in there?
Couple drops, just warm it up. Couple drops in your ear, leave it there. Apparently it goes in and it kind of coats the nerve.
Ooh.
And it makes it a little more soothing, and it's warm. You don't want it cold. My friend told me about that, and I was like, again, like, this is nonsense. But I tried it, and like, I still do that. If it gets really bad, and especially in Utah in the cold winters, I will definitely do that just to help that not be so bad. And then, you know, the cold is still annoying, but it's not as drastic.
Yeah, would feel nice. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, that's the thing for people to try things that are natural.
Yeah, a lot of people they're worried about medications, and everyone I talked with had said the prednisone and the antiviral medication are like the two best things. Get on that as soon as possible. So anyone that may have a friend getting it or thinks they're getting it, get them to a doctor as quick as they can.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Dr. Gutho says, because, you know, physio and physical therapy and all that kind of stuff, that's awesome, but you have to prevent the damage.
Yeah.
Because the damage is what you can't get back. So
I talked to someone who said that she'd had it. She refused to go on medication because she didn't think that would help in any way. So, you know, she was eating the garlic and walking backwards or whatever the homeopathic remedy was.
Yeah.
And she said after 5 years, is it too late to take the medicine? Because her face was full in effect. It was still wearing her down and really bad.
Too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my healthcare is naturopathy. And again, this is just my opinion, but all 90%, but I see the natural remedies and the garlic and the walking backwards as proactive, and medication for me is reactive. So it just depends. And of course, to each their own.
Yeah. And I went through and I did both.
Oh, me too. I said, give me all.
There's another woman that I found her. I found her on Pinterest. I've looked up Bell's palsy on Pinterest. I wish I could remember her name. She's a very, very sweet woman. She shared her story and what she went through. And then she said, anyone going through this that needs help, please send me a message. I would love to help and whatever. So I messaged her and she looked at it and she kind of gave me some writing tools, like start journaling and ask yourself these questions every day and see how much it changes. Let me see if I can find that journal for you. I was typing out a diary journal type thing when I was going through it because I wanted to remember each day. And then my computer crashed and I lost it. However, I took pictures of my face every day, took videos of doing the exercise. And so I might make a video of that just to show it on my Instagram for anyone that may want to see, like, this was my progress. This is the medication I was on. Tips and tricks. Maybe I'll make that a project to do.
Try little things that, you know, that we can bring together and see how that is. Well, I'm going to let you go because we should probably start our days. And we'll probably sit here and chat for 4 hours.
That's possible.
Definitely. Do it again. I got to run my kids to lacrosse and stuff. We're a little bit more open now up here in Vancouver. So that's nice.
Oh, very good.
To be getting back to life in some ways. But you have a great rest of your day. We're going to touch base for people who are listening now. We'll get together, Melissa and I, and we'll put some, you know, like we'll look up the people that we have mentioned so you can follow them as well. And I'm going to try to be doing this on Saturday morning so we can chat and bring people together and just let everybody know that you're not alone, because that's the goal.
Exactly. And it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, God, we got to learn that. That's why this happened to us. So
exactly.
Have a great rest of your day. I'll be in touch with you. I love chatting with you online and message. We do that a lot. And thank you so much for your support. And thank you everybody to joining us. We've had a bunch of people here watching live, and the video I'll post in a little while on my feed. And have a wonderful day.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.